Last night, it snowed like crazy, as you can see. I was standing knee deep in snow. And so I thought, a perfect chance to teach some English. So I'm going to talk about 10 English words and phrases that you can use to describe this. When it snows a lot, how can you describe it in English? And at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what those two weird bumps are. Do you see those bumps? What are those? I'll tell you at the end. Let's get into the video. Number one is flurries. This is not what happened yesterday. Flurries is when you have light snow that's falling, it's landing on the ground, but it's not really sticking. It's not really accumulating on the ground. It's kind of light snow. Snow is falling, I see it in the air, but the next day, there's probably no snow on the ground. But the next one is blizzard. And blizzard is when you have a lot of snow and it looks like this the next day. And there's so much snow you can barely see. And usually the wind is blowing. It's a bad snowstorm. So if you have a really bad snowstorm, you might describe that as a blizzard. We had a blizzard at my house last night. Now, if you have a blizzard, you might have whiteout conditions. This is about visibility, or how far you can see. If you're trying to drive but you can't see in front of you, you have whiteout conditions. I didn't have to luckily drive anywhere yesterday, but if I had, it would have been very, very difficult and probably dangerous because we had whiteout conditions. Just think of it. You're looking out and it's white. So you have whiteout conditions. Now, sometimes it actually rains rather than snows, and it's really, really cold. So as soon as the rain lands, it freezes on the ground. That can be, of course, very dangerous. Well, that might be is called freezing rain. The freezing rain is when it's not snow, but as soon as it lands, it freezes and makes everything very slippery. Now, how would you describe this snow? You can see that nobody has walked in it. There are no footprints except for right there, just now I made in my backyard. It's perfect, right? And it's very light, very fluffy snow. This type of snow is actually often described as powder. Yes, it is described as powder. And you'll hear skiers and snowboarders talk about wanting to find perfect powder for skiing and snowboarding. But it usually suggests, if it's powder, that it's light and fluffy. And if it's not light and fluffy, then it might be snowpack. So the snow is packed tightly, it's very dense, and well, it's not light and fluffy. It's not powder. Now, sometimes it gets so bad, the snow gets so high outside your door that you can't get out, you can't leave. And if that happens, you can say that you are snowed in. We're snowed in. We can't go to the supermarket. We can't go out and get anything. We are totally snowed in. I don't know what we should do. I don't know how we're going to get food. But luckily, we're not snowed in. My neighbor actually plows my driveway for me, which is awesome. And so I'm not snowed in. Now, another thing that you'll see when there's a lot of snow is something like that. Those mounds of snow over there. Well, you could call them mounds of snow, but another way we can describe them is snowdrifts. Sometimes you get these huge mounds of snow that are there because the wind was blowing. Those are snowdrifts. But you also get these mounds of snow that might be there because snow plows were driving through and they threw a bunch of snow up onto a pile. People will also describe those as snowdrifts. Now, one of the dangers during winter is black ice. This is where the road looks normal. You're driving along and then you suddenly slide off the road. Well, that's because it looked normal, but it wasn't. There was invisible ice that you couldn't see, totally clear ice that was on the road that caused you to skid off the road. It's very dangerous. I've actually had a car accident due to black ice. It's pretty scary stuff. Now, right now you can see everything is pristine, beautiful, nice powder. It looks fantastic, but in a couple of days it'll get warmer, the snow will start to melt, and then you're going to see brown, melting, dirty looking snow and ice mixed together. This is often called slush. Yeah, it's also a drink, right? A drink that's half frozen is called a slushie. And if you see melting snow and ice beside the road, you can say there is a lot of slush. The slush after a snowstorm is kind of gross. Number 10, before we talk about those 2 bumps over there, is icicle. This is where you have these long things hanging from your roof. This is dripping water that accumulates and creates basically knives hanging from your eaves or your roof. These can be actually pretty dangerous. So some cities have regulations where you have to clear them away or get in trouble or pay a fine because they can hurt people. They can fall and hurt people, especially if you live in an apartment building. Okay, that's it. Those are the 10 words that you can use to describe a heavy snowstorm. Now, I said I was going to show you what those 2 bumps are, so let me walk over here before I go back inside because it's very cold. I'm trudging. Oh, that's a good one, trudging. I'm trudging over to look at these 2 bumps. What are they? I need to know. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see what they are. Let's see. Oh my goodness. What are those? 2 propane tanks. 2 propane tanks for heating. I'm waiting for them to get picked up by the propane company. Look at that. There they are. All right, guys, that's it for this time. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and also get a free course in the links in the description. I will see you in the next one.